Appreciate your point.
We respect it very much.
I'm wondering about you as an actor who's been in the business for a while.
Yeah.
What does a role need for you to sign on?
Well, this one was pretty easy for me. We have George R. Martin and Robert Redford as EPs on the show, and a close friend of mine who I've known for a few decades, Chris Eyre, who's one of our producers. Pretty easy for me to sign on when they asked. I mean, to work with legends like that, and Tino Elmo, we've got a wonderful showrunner, John Worth, and line producer, Jim Shorey, that just got a great team. And of course, we've got these two wonderful human beings. So it was pretty easy decision for me.
I'm speaking with the lead actors Zane McLaren, Kiowa Gordon, and Jessica Madden. We're talking about Dark Winds, a police drama set in 1970s Navajo country. So Kiowa, Lee Porn and she, their relationship has evolved over these seasons. I'm only on season 1. We're doing it for season 2. How would you describe how they have evolved?
Well, I was a little wet behind the ears coming in season 1, and Lee Porn just really.
He got your number right.
He got he figured it out before I was even letting on that I was fed. So it's cool to see how he kind of he overlooks that now, and he's like, you know what? I need you to step up, Jim. I need you to be my right hand. Be the dog. Be the dog that you are.
My new son.
Yeah, my new son. Yeah, I'm a surrogate son.
Yeah.
So it's a nice dynamic, kind of like father and son, and also boss and subordinate. Sometimes we like to role play.
What do you think are Bernadette's strengths and what are her weaknesses?
Oh, that's a good question. I think her strengths are being resilient and being a strong Navajo woman amongst in a role that historically speaking was mostly a man's job, and doing it back in the incorporating it's big. In terms of weaknesses, I think that's actually an interesting question and to be revealed in season 3.
She's got a new job.
Yes, she's out of her element, and true to form, a lot of natives that leave the reserve for the first time really are truly out of their element. It's a different jurisdiction. It's a completely different way of living life. So you get to see a lot of her weaknesses, so to speak, just merely from stepping outside of what she knows.
So what are some of the themes that people can expect to see in season 3?
I think, like any television show, we touch on universals, love, relationships, family, community, etc. It's just, we have a bit of a unique cultural lean to it on Dark Winds.
Kiowa, Jim Shee started off the series thinking maybe he was a little superior, a little more educated, even though Lee Porn went to college.
ASU.
Call it a college.
That was a line.
Yeah,
Such a line.
So funny. I grew up in
Look at
Arizona.
her face, she's like, she said about ASU.
Tempe.
I don't remember that.
I lived in Tempe because, man, it's my job. My brother went to ASU Business School, so I'm a Sun Devil fan. I play there's a video game for NCAA, and that's my team is ASU.
Okay, all right.
Anyways, let's get back to it.
My question was, how would you describe where he is this season?
Where I'm at, he's turned the page. He's not just a lone wolf anymore. He's kind of found himself back in the fold, where he kind of flourishes now with Lee Porn as his point man. He tells me where to go, and I think I'm also not over the sort of loss of Bernadette going to the border, and you see that in the season, and I'm just kind of not over it. I'm pining for her, but I still have a job to do. I have to find missing George, and I have to deal with my own past, with Shorty Bowlegs, and I think we see him. He's trying to be more immersed in the community for the Navajo, and he's going to throw himself into the job, because that's how you get over the traumas. I think is just pivot and focus on something that you can control.
Son, your character is pushed to a point where he sort of departs from his sort of stoic and how principled he is. How does that come back to haunt him?
A lot comes back to haunt Joe Leaphorn in season 3. Some of the choices that he made in season 2, at the end of season 2, are going to definitely affect his life, and he's got some new people looking into some of those decisions from season 2.
You want to share who it is?
Well, it's Agent Sylvia Washington from Washington.
Jenna Elfman.
Wonderful Jenna Elfman. So he's dealing, he's testing some areas. His moral compass is a little bit off. There's some gray areas going on this season where some of those decisions may cost him everything. So the stakes are pretty high this season for Joe.
I'm curious for you, seeing how successful the series has been, especially on Netflix. First of all, why do you think it's been so successful on Netflix?
I kind of touched on it before. I think the unique cultural lean is pretty. It's unique, and people don't see these kinds of stories being told on television. And we're finally kind of chipping away on all those stereotypes and tropes, and people are like, "Oh, wow, we're humanizing and normalizing." What was you said the other day? Normalize and humanize, I think it was.
It's just like, the way it's Tennessee Williams saying, rewrite what we know. So I feel like we are all victims to that, even within our native culture and native storytelling in itself. So it's like part of breaking those stereotypes is just us playing human beings and humanizing that overall.
Humanizing,
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Sometimes when you're really specific, it sometimes speaks to the universal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get really specific about a culture, about a relationship, but it speaks to everybody.
Yeah.
We were talking about this yesterday on another show, which was even showing sex scenes and love scenes with Indigenous people is so rare. So that's something that, without giving anything away, but tapping more into our characters' love stories and, sexuality and, historically speaking, I've been working this business for 15 years now, and all the shows I've done previously, I've always kind of strayed away from playing characters if they were Indigenous, showing that the sexual side, because we always had that Pocahontas thing, that trope to deal with. So I was always against over-sexualizing the characters. But I was like, part of innovating and moving our people forward, and as Zon said, humanizing that and normalizing it is actually showing those scenes now. And it turned out to be extremely empowering and liberating.
I'm curious about your character. She sort of gets a little bit of a lesson in white justice versus Indian justice in her new role. Tell us a little bit about her new job.
Yeah, I guess that goes with, the tribal jurisdiction being very